What's happening, everybody? MG here, MGCovers, bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video is Regression and Cash Flow and how it relates to sports handicapping. Super pumped about this video. I almost didn't make this video because this is going to share a big secret of mine that not a lot of people know and understand how it relates to sports handicapping, but decided to go ahead and make this public anyway because the amount of education and knowledge you're going to gain by watching this video is going to be huge. It will drastically improve your handicapping once you understand that. We'll dive into that. But as always, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, MGCovers, got a ton of content on my YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe, greatly appreciate you subscribing. You'll learn a lot about sports handicapping, building models. So you get a lot of value simply by subscribing. If you follow me on Instagram, I put out a lot of content there as well. MGCovers, cover spelled with a Z. I also have the same screen name on Twitter. All right, so I'm going to show you several different examples. Not sure how long this video is, but made a video about a month ago talking about the best model I've ever created. In my opinion, was a soccer model, and we've put that into practice here in the last couple months, and it has been extremely profitable. You can see here in the last week, 44% yield due to soccer. Last 14 days has been really strong, 62% return, and last 30 days, 48% ROI, and then the last 2 months, up 7 units there with a 39% ROI. That's mainly due to soccer. We're going to come back to that because that ties into what I'm going to teach you guys. All right. So one of the biggest mistakes people make in sports betting is you guys are focused on trying to win games and not trying to be profitable. There is a difference. So most people that get into this business, when they start wagering on games, that's their focus. Hey, let's win some games. Your focus should be on turning a profit. If you're a business owner or know people that own businesses, one of their big concerns, if not their major concern, is cash flowing. They want to cash flow on a daily basis. And I'm going to give you a great example and then take this example and relate it to sports betting. So my mom owned a Western auto store when I was growing up, and I learned a lot from her. She was very smart. She probably didn't know what these were called. It was just, she just intuitively understood this and understood cash flow in business. And I get a lot of that from her. So let's say, for example, we needed to buy a $1,000 item for the business. Let's just call it a $1,000 widget, right? It's going to cost the business $1,000, okay? So let's say we needed to buy that. Well, let's say that particular day we needed to buy that item, we grossed $3,000 profit. I mean, we grossed $3,000 in sales. Well, we averaged about 20% return or markup, right? So let's say on that Thursday, we made $3,000 gross, but our actual profit was $600. So you take 3,000 times 20%. So our net revenue for that day was $600. So this $1,000 widget that we bought, if we bought it on, say, Thursday, what would happen if we bought it that day? We would go in the hole $400. So for that specific day, if we bought the $1,000 widget that we needed on the day we made $600 profit, we would actually go in the hole $400. So that's not smart. So what my mom would do, and this came up a lot, let's say Friday passed and let's say Saturday came, a big weekend, right, for retail. So let's say we grossed $10,000 that day. Okay, going back to this day, so if we don't have any other expenses, we actually net out this amount, $600. Well, let's say on Saturday, we grossed $10,000. So you take 10,000 times 2 times 20%, and we netted $2,000 profit. So that's our profit today, profit for that day. So on that day, when we made the $2,000, now we bought our $1,000 widget. So if you take $2,000 that we made, and then we subtract our widget of $1,000, we still cash flowed that day $1,000, right? Because the goal of a business is to cash flow, right? And to relate this to sports betting, you want to be profitable daily. That's your goal, is to be profitable daily. The reason, if you're profitable daily and you make that your focus, you increase your chances of being profitable monthly, and greatly increase your chances of being profitable yearly. And let's relate this to sports betting for just 1 second. I believe this was last year in college football. This was the very first week of college football. There's a ton of games. We went 4-0 between the 12 o'clock games and the 4 o'clock games. Let me do an illustration here so you can see it. We went 4-0. The 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock games were 4-0. So that's great, right? Okay. We're going to talk about regression here a little bit as well, so that you can understand this. So if that was a winning day, I'm not sure how many games we had from like 7 o'clock on, but we had games that had value that were definitely potential plays. What I opted to do was not play those games, because if we had a 4-0 day, let's just say $100, so we're up $400, right? Well, I'm going to briefly explain regression. What is the opposite? Okay, let's do the coin flip thing. If you flip a coin, heads or tails, and it lands on tails 3 times in a row, it's very unlikely that that next coin flip is going to land on tails, right? It's to get back to that 50% average, right? It's going to land on probably in the next 5 to 10 flips. It's going to have a great chance of landing on heads to bring it back closer to that 50%. If you go 4-0, if you're 4-0, the odds of you going 4-0 on the next 4 plays are highly unlikely. So you're going to always regress back to 50%. So if we're 4-0 at 100%, we're more likely to go what? Even below the 50% on the next plays to bring that average back to 50%. This is the understanding of regression. So what I did was I didn't play any of those. And I think the next, I have to go back and research this, but I know we had the next set of plays would have been a loss, whether it was 0-3 or 1-3, whatever it was. So we actually made more money. We're more profitable simply by not playing those plays. And that's what we talk about cash flow and regression and how it relates. All right. So that's one example. Let's give a more recent example from this weekend. All right. These are the soccer first cut plays for soccer for July the 16th. Now, for soccer, basically what we're doing is we're playing draws. And if this is your first time watching one of the videos, bring you up to speed with soccer, there's 3 lines: the home side, the away side, the draw side. So statistically speaking, we only have a 33% chance of winning, right? But the reason that soccer is so profitable is that we get crazy odds, really good dog money, 250 plus, by playing draws. So it's extremely profitable, and I showed you those ROI numbers. But still, don't forget that 33% number, because that's going to be important when I'm explaining this. So the very first match was this Japan draw match. You can see we have matches at 12 noon, 8, 9, and 3:45. So this Japan match was plus 277, went off at 6 a.m. And let's slide over here. Yep. So that's a win. All right. So this match at 7:16 was a win. Now, what's important to note at this point, I am 7 out of 10 in my last soccer plays. We're on a 7-3 run. Now that's a great run, and this is a really good model. However, numbers are numbers. We are going to regress, right? So I'm anticipating that we are going to regress pretty heavily, right? Why? Because we're at 70%, right? Draws average hitting 33%. So if we're at 70% right now, 7 out of our last 10, we're more likely not only to hit 33%, we're more likely to go below that 33% because it's going to regress back to that 33%, right? So if we're at 73%, to get to 33%, we're going to have to go even below that. So anticipating that, I made the decision not to play for the rest of the day. Going back to what I talked about, cash flow, what is our goal? Is our goal to win games, or is our goal to be profitable? We are profitable at this point. we have made $500 profit for the day. So we've accomplished our goal for the day of being profitable. So what I decided to do was, and then factoring in regression, I basically decided not to play any of these plays. All right. This 12 o'clock match here at 12 noon, guess what happened? It would have been a loss had I played it. This 3:45 match, it would have been a loss if I'd have played it. This 8 o'clock match, if I would have played it, it would have been a loss. If I would have played this 9 o'clock match, it would have been a loss. So I can't stress enough how important it is to factor in regression and focus on cash flow. Because at the end of the day, I am profitable. If I would have done what most of you guys watching this video, you would have played all these plays and ended up with not even an even day, you would have ended up with a losing day. So I factored in regression, focused on profit, passed on these plays, and we were profitable for the goal, which is the goal of a business. Let's move on to the next day, 7/17. All right, same type scenario. We had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potential plays. So the very first two plays, this Sweden, well, I didn't play this particular play. There were some other things that happened handicap-wise, and that's the reason I didn't play that one. But we did actually play this Sweden match right here at 9 a.m. We also played this Norway match at 2 p.m. And then, of course, we played this Chile match at 3 p.m. Now, what do we know about soccer? We have, or should, if the model's good, we should hit about 30% of these over the long term, right? So we already had some regression early when I showed you that example. So we were 7-3. Now we went on the losing skid, right? But we didn't play those matches, so we avoided that. So now we should be back sort of close to even, maybe. So between those three matches, we can expect to win what? At least one of those. So let's take a look at the log and look what happens. And there you go. That's exactly what happens. So again, the beautiful thing, this is kind of not related to the video, but is related to cash flow and profitability. We cashed this, what's that, the Norway match, plus $490, but we lose the other two, so we're still up $90 between those three plays. So again, what's our goal? Our goal is to be profitable, right? So at this point in the day, we are profitable. So let's go back to the plays here. Now, there was some line movement I didn't like in one of those games. So I knew that one of these plays I wasn't going to play, so that left us with one. But hypothetically, let's just think about those two plays. In order to turn a profit, so we're profitable at this point. In order to turn a profit at this point, and we got two remaining plays, we have to win at least one of these plays. So we have to go 50%. And what is the average number that we can expect to hit in soccer is 33%. So since we were already profitable for the day, and what's our goal? Cash flow profitability. We had accomplished that, and this is very important. This is understanding regression as it relates to winning days and losing days. Think about the coin flip, right? Heads or tails. If we have a winning day secured, just think about this in terms of flipping a coin. Are we more likely to have another winning day later in the day, or are we more likely to have a losing day? You're more likely to have a losing day. Why? Because that's the opposite. That's the typical regression, right? If you're flipping a coin. So if you have a winning day secure and you play more plays in the day, you're more likely to have a losing day on those remaining plays. That's understanding stats and probability and defining that as regression. So what did I decide to do? I decided to not play these last two plays. What ended up happening? You already know the answer. The Columbus draw match, it lost. The Nashville draw match, it lost. But the most important thing, I was profitable. Again, so what I want you to take away from this video is you have to think about this business as, you have to think about sports betting, sports handicapping as a business, and quit trying to run games and think about it in terms of cash flowing and also factoring in regression. Your goal is to be profitable daily. So focus your wagers, structure wagers around, hey, what can I do to be profitable, if you have a winning day secured, let's say you're up $100 play, you're up $400, right? And you got 2 remaining plays, or let's back up. Let's say you had 2 plays on the front end, you win both of those, now you're up $200. You have 2 more remaining plays. Well, you don't want to wager $200 on those next 2 plays, right? Because if you lose, what happens? You make no money for the day. No money. So why not, if you're up $200 and you have 2 plays remaining, why not wager $20 on both of those plays? If you lose both of those plays, what happens? You're still profitable for the day. Now you're running your sports betting like somebody would run a business, and regardless of the outcome of those games, you win those games, okay? And finally, I'm going to close with this. The mental aspect of this is huge as well, and I'll explain that. So in these particular matches, going back to this day here, so we hit, or go back to this day. So some people might ask, well, what if these matches here all win? You could have made profit. Well, the way I focus on that mentally is, number one, I tell myself, first off, you have to understand I have a winning day. So if they win, I would have just won more. But again, my goal is to be profitable, and I accomplished that goal. If they win, I simply mentally tell myself, good job, MG. Those plays that you didn't play won. If they lose, I tell myself the same thing. Good job, MG. If you'd have played those would have been a loss. So there's nothing wrong with passing on plays, especially if you were profitable for the day. So anyway, hope this video helps. Hope it can improve your handicap. And again, run your sports betting like a business. You'll be far more profitable. If you want access to become a client, you can get access to all my soccer power rankings, all my coaching videos, $49.95 per month. If you want access to all my soccer plays, that's $99 per month, and that gives you access to everything on the site. If you want to join for a solid year, you save about $600 on the monthly. That's $499 for the entire year. It gives you access to everything on the site, and there's a link to join in the description box. Hope this video helps, and we will talk to you guys soon. Peace.